So it's starting to look like Tiffany Haddish just might be getting kicked off Girls Trip 2 after fans started petitioning to get her fired because of her messy court case last year. There are so many people who think that Tiffany should be canceled and blacklisted by Hollywood, but is Jada Pinkett one of those such people? And has Jada really been setting Tiffany up to get dragged so people forget about her own messy drama? So Girls Trip 2 has been officially confirmed to happen, and the producers even announced that it's going to be filmed in Ghana. And this information tells us that there has already been a lot of planning and everything going on behind the scenes. Now, Girls Trip 1 was a big hit, and it was expected that there was going to be a lot of hype and excitement for part 2. Well, to be fair, there has been some excitement, but it's not as much as was expected, and this is all Tiffany Haddish's fault. Tiffany is one of the 4 main characters, and it's going without saying that she would be asked to come back for part 2, but this move was not supported by the fans because of the creepy allegations they have levied against Tiffany. It's been a couple of months since Tiffany Haddish and comedian Aries Spears faced serious allegations of producing creepy and inappropriate videos involving children, and this caused Tiffany's reputation to tank very badly. They were sued, and the lawsuit exposed some unsettling claims. Although the video was recorded a few years ago, it wasn't until late 2022 that everything blew up, and it was bad because there was so much going on. A woman who went by the alias Jane Doe filed the lawsuit against Tiffany and Aries, and she claimed that they had forced her and her younger brother John Doe to create weirdly adult content in front of the camera. In the lawsuit, Jane claimed that Tiffany had befriended their divorced mother when they were young, and the 2 divorced women developed a close relationship. Over the years, Tiffany kept in touch with the family and even reached out on special occasions like Christmas and birthdays, and showing that there was a strong bond between them. And Tiffany, who quickly became a friend of the family, found out that Jane and John were interested in acting, and she offered to help them using her connections in Hollywood. She told their mother that she had secured a TV commercial role for Jane, and since there was a lot of trust between the 2 women, the mother allowed Jane to attend the shoot on her own, believing that Tiffany would offer her adult supervision. Letting Jane attend a commercial shoot without parental supervision turned out to be a big mistake, because there were several warning bells that should have rung out about the alleged shoot. The biggest red flag was Tiffany's refusal to tell Jane or her mother about the shoot's nature, which meant that Jane had no clue about what she was expected to do. Despite those warning signs, the family had faith in Tiffany, who was regarded as a dear friend, and assumed that Jane would be well taken care of. Now, although Jane was safe physically, the shoot exposed her to inappropriate and disturbing content that she shouldn't have been exposed to. At the time, Jane was only 14 years old, and upon arriving at the shoot site, she was asked to watch some young girls who had already begun filming. According to Jane, the girls were quarreling over a hoagie sandwich, but the situation swiftly took a suggested turn, and they ate the sandwich from opposite ends while making suggestive noises. After the group of girls had finished their shoot, Jane was asked to repeat what she had watched the girls do, but she was too nervous to do so. She claimed that when she hesitated, Tiffany entered the room and then demonstrated how to consume the sandwich in a suggestive manner, all complete with suggestive sounds and everything. But even with Tiffany's demonstration, Jane was still unable to reenact the actions, which annoyed Tiffany. Eventually, Tiffany gave Jane $100 and asked her to leave. Even though Jane was creeped out by the incident, she chose not to tell her mother or anyone else about it. This allowed Tiffany to strike again, and this time she went for John. She informed her mother that she had secured a role for John in the Nickelodeon reel, but this was a bold-faced lie. To be fair, John did shoot a reel, but it had nothing to do with Nickelodeon and was instead posted on the website Funny or Die. If you're familiar with the site, then you know that there are quite a number of dark humor jokes on there, but this one in particular was so messed up that the site took it down. When the lawsuit was made public, they released a statement saying, "Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved with the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018 immediately after becoming aware of its existence." So how bad was the reel? Well, for one, it was titled "The Mind of a File," and this is already so messed up. John was Tiffany's son, and she dropped him off with Aries Spears' character, who was a Red flags immediately started going off because Aries looked at the boy in a creepy way, but licking his lips suggestively and got in the bathtub with the boy, touched his body in inappropriate ways, and a whole bunch of other creepy stuff. John was so upset that he couldn't hold back his tears, and Jane immediately knew that something was wrong, and she finally opened up to her mother, who then called Tiffany and asked to watch the footage. However, Tiffany declined, stating that the clip had been deleted because John's performance was too terrible to be in this reel again. Now, obviously this was a lie, since Tiffany and Aries later posted the video on the internet. Well, Tiffany released two statements, one through her lawyer that said, plaintiff's mother has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Ms. Haddish for several years. Every attorney who has initially taken on her case, and there were several, ultimately dropped the matter once it became clear that the claims were meritless and Ms. Haddish would not be shaken down. Now, Ms. Morris has her adult daughter representing herself in this lawsuit. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. She also released another statement on Instagram saying, I know people have a bunch of questions, I get it, I'm right here with you. Unfortunately, because there is an ongoing legal case, there's very little that I can say right now. But clearly, while this sketch was intended to be comedic, it wasn't funny at all, and I deeply regret having agreed to act in it. I really look forward to being able to share a lot more about the situation as soon as I can. Well, Tiffany probably paid Jane off because the lawsuit was soon dropped, and Jane said, my family and I have known Tiffany Haddish for many years, and we now know that she would never harm me or my brother or help anyone else do anything that could harm us. We wish Tiffany the best, and we are glad that we can all put this behind us. So it looks like Jane is no longer holding a grudge, but people are holding one for her because there has been a call for Tiffany to get blacklisted in Hollywood, and it looks like the movie producers are taking the call seriously because Tiffany is struggling to find work.
But it's behind you now, but like, is that something?
Oh, I lost everything. All my gigs gone.
Really?
Everything gone.
So, I mean, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is that's a bad look. But now that they've changed face, you know, you feel like you regain your.
I don't have no job.
But luckily for her, the producers of Girls Trip 2 are willing to overlook her messy situation, and they asked her to be in Girls Trip 2. This immediately caused a lot of drama and controversy online because people were not here for this decision at all. There were so many comments saying things like, they're really trying to continue Girls Trip 2 with Tiffany Haddish like you didn't see the nasty video she did with Aries Spears? They're still gonna put Tiffany Haddish in Girls Trip 2? And Tiffany is shameless. The audacity to be front and center after her predatory behavior? There's so many actresses that can replace her. Janelle James, Gabrielle Union, Keke Palmer, anyone else would work except Tiffany Haddish. Now the interesting thing about this drama is that Tiffany's fans are defending her, claiming that she isn't the only messy cast member because Jada Pinkett-Smith is also messy as F. Someone said, while y'all going in on Tiffany Haddish, Jada sneaking her troublesome butt into the movie unscathed, like. And another person said, forget Tiffany Haddish, I don't want to see Jada Pinkett-Smith in Girls Trip 2 after how she did Will. She single-handedly emasculated that man in front of our very eyes. Well, according to an insider, Jada is not here for being dragged into this mess at all. She thinks that it's ridiculous because she has been keeping a very low profile for the last couple of months and hasn't been involved in any drama. So she wants people to keep her name out of their mouths and stop dragging her in Tiffany's mess. The source also added that Jada doesn't think that Tiffany should be fired from the movie because she believes in separating the art from the artist. Plus, she knows that Tiffany was the best character in the first movie, so she knows that the movie will be a flop without Tiffany. Well, from what we know, there is nothing to suggest that Tiffany is going to be fired from the show anytime soon. But that doesn't mean that the movie is on the clear because there have been calls by angry fans to boycott the movie if Tiffany doesn't get fired. So it's all going to come down to whether or not the producers feel like including Tiffany is going to be worth the risk of low viewership. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. While we wait for the chaos to be unleashed, you guys gotta check out this next video.